Have you ever looked at a woman and wondered if she's really interested in you or just being nice? The difference between a yes and a no might be hidden in the subtlest details that most men never learn to see. Today, you'll discover how to identify those invisible signals that will tell you exactly when a woman secretly desires you, even before she admits it to herself. If you master what you're about to learn, you'll never again mistake genuine interest for mere politeness. Because there's a secret language that the female body speaks when it feels attraction, a code that very few men know how to interpret. And that ignorance is what keeps most guys trapped in the friend zone, wondering why women always choose someone else. The first crucial point you need to understand is that a woman who desires you will always reveal her interest through facial micro-expressions that are impossible to control. Neil Strauss explained it perfectly. Attraction is not a choice, it's a biological response that manifests in involuntary signals. When a woman sees you and feels that first spark of desire, her body reacts before her mind can censor it. Do you know what the most revealing signal is? Pupil dilation. When a woman looks at someone she desires, her pupils instantly dilate, as if they want to absorb more of you. It's a primitive response that she can't fake or consciously control. The next time you're talking with a woman, observe her eyes when you move slightly closer. If her pupils expand as if they want to swallow the light, it's no coincidence. Has it ever happened that a woman seems nervous around you, but not in a negative way? That nervousness might be the most powerful indicator. A revealing micro-expression is when she touches her neck while talking to you. This unconscious gesture exposes a vulnerable area of the body. And evolutionarily, we only expose our vulnerability to those we're attracted to or deeply trust. Do this exercise. The next time you're in a conversation with a woman you suspect might be interested, observe if in the first few minutes she touches her neck, fixes her hair more than usual, or moistens her lips. Mentally count how many times it happens. If it exceeds 3 times in a 10-minute conversation, the chances that she feels attraction increase exponentially. If you really want to confirm her interest, try this test. While you're talking, pause briefly and hold her gaze for 2 seconds longer than would be normal. If she maintains eye contact instead of looking away and you see that slight pupil dilation, you're witnessing an unmistakable sign of desire. Because a woman who feels nothing for you will always avoid this intensity. And we'll talk about that in the next point, because there's something even more revealing than the gaze, and it's the way her body unconsciously orients toward you, as if it were a magnet responding to your presence. Body language never lies, even when words try to hide it. Neil Strauss discovered that the body always betrays what the mind tries to conceal. A woman might tell you she only sees you as a friend, but her body will always reveal the truth if you know how to look for the right clues. Body orientation is possibly the most honest signal that exists. When a woman desires you, her body will naturally align toward you, like a flower seeking the sun. This happens completely unconsciously. It's a primitive reflex of attraction that no training can fully conceal. Have you ever noticed that during a group conversation, a specific person's body always seems to orient toward you, even when someone else is speaking? This is a powerful indicator. Her feet, knees, and torso will point in your direction like emotional compasses, identifying you as the center of her hidden interest. Here's a fact that will change how you read these signals. Pay special attention to her feet. According to body language research, feet are the part of the body we least consciously control. When someone attracts us, our feet unconsciously orient toward that person. If you're in a group and notice her feet pointing toward you while her attention seems to be elsewhere, you've discovered a truth that perhaps she hasn't even admitted to herself. Another indicator is the distance she maintains with you. Personal space is sacred, and we only allow it to be invaded by people with whom we feel a connection. If she constantly finds reasons to get closer, to lightly touch your arm during a conversation, or sits closer to you than necessary, she's creating opportunities for contact that aren't accidental. To verify this, do the following exercise. During a conversation, subtly adjust your position to increase the space between you. If she, within the next few minutes, closes that distance again, you've confirmed her unconscious attraction to you. People always maintain a comfortable distance from those they're not interested in, but seek closeness with those they desire. Synchronization is another revealing signal. When a woman unconsciously mirrors your movements, she takes a drink right after you do, crosses her legs in the same direction or adopts similar postures to yours, she's demonstrating a deep subconscious connection. This invisible dance of imitation happens automatically when we feel attraction toward someone. Remember this phrase, bodies in attraction synchronize before minds recognize it. Repeat it when you observe these patterns and you'll confirm its truth. Would you like to know how to correctly interpret these signals so you never again have to wonder if she likes you or not? Subscribe right now to this channel to receive more content that will transform you into a master of non-verbal language. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos on female psychology. And now let's dive into the third point, perhaps the most surprising, how a woman's behavior subtly changes when she's near a man she secretly desires. Transformations that almost nobody detects, but that are infallible once you learn to see them. A woman who feels attraction toward you will experience subtle but perceptible changes in her behavior, transformations that Neil Strauss called pattern interruptions. When we're in the presence of someone who sexually attracts us, our usual behavior undergoes small alterations that betray our interest, no matter how much we try to disguise it. Have you noticed that a woman who is normally extroverted suddenly becomes more reserved when you're around? Or that a typically serene woman starts talking faster or nervously playing with some object? These changes in her usual behavior are powerful signs of romantic interest. The key is knowing her behavioral baseline to identify when something changes in your presence. Especially observe if her voice changes tone when she speaks to you. Research shows that women unconsciously adopt a slightly higher pitch when talking to men they're attracted to. This vocal change happens automatically, as an evolutionary response to appear more feminine and attractive. If you notice her voice sounds different when she addresses you compared to how she talks to others, you're perceiving a genuine signal of interest. Another revealing indicator is what I call the audience effect. When a woman desires you, she'll react disproportionately to your comments or jokes. She'll laugh more intensely, show more interest in your stories, and give you more elaborate responses than she offers to others. This amplification of emotional responses is her unconscious way of showing you that she values your interactions above others. Have you wondered why some women seem to stumble over their words or make small mistakes when they're around you? The nervousness caused by attraction creates a temporary cognitive overload. A normally articulate woman might start mixing up words or losing her train of thought if she's experiencing attraction. This phenomenon occurs because part of her attention is focused on how you perceive her and how she presents herself. Practice this exercise. The next time you interact with a woman you suspect might be interested, count how many times she makes these nervousness errors, like rearranging objects unnecessarily, repeatedly adjusting her clothing, or momentarily losing track of the conversation. Compare this frequency with how she behaves with other men in similar situations. The difference will give you a clear reading of her level of interest. There's another fascinating pattern. A woman interested in you will find excuses to prolong the interaction. She'll continue the conversation with additional questions just when it seems you're about to say goodbye. Mention topics she knows interest you to keep your attention or create pretexts for future encounters. These retention strategies are clear signals that she doesn't want you to end the interaction. Repeat this mantra. Excuses to continue are silent confessions of interest. When a woman invents reasons to stay in contact with you, it's not coincidence, it's attraction disguised as coincidence. Did you know that less than 7% of men know how to correctly interpret these signals? Most confuse kindness with interest, or, worse yet, miss genuine opportunities by not recognizing when a woman is really demonstrating attraction. If you want to master this art and never miss these signals again, like this video and share it with your friends who need this information. Now, let's move on to the fourth point, where you'll discover perhaps the most revealing signal of all, how a woman's priorities subtly rearrange when she's interested in you, manifesting in her availability and in the way she manages her time when you're involved. Time is the most valuable resource we have. And the way a person decides to invest it is perhaps the most honest indicator of their true priorities. Neil Strauss summed it up perfectly. Don't believe what they tell you. Believe what they do with their time. When a woman reorganizes her schedule to create space for you, she's sending one of the most powerful signals of romantic interest. Carefully observe her availability. A woman who desires you will find time for you even when she's objectively busy. If she responds to your messages quickly, accepts invitations with little advance notice, or postpones other plans to see you, there's no doubt you've moved up in her priority hierarchy. This is a behavior reserved exclusively for people who occupy a special place in her life. Have you ever noticed that a woman remembers small details from past conversations you've had? When someone attracts us, our brain assigns more resources to processing and storing information related to that person. If she remembers specific details you casually mentioned weeks ago, it's not because she has an exceptional memory, but because you capture her attention in a special way. A subtle but extremely revealing indicator is how she reacts when mentioning her future plans. Pay attention if she indirectly includes you in them or leaves space for your participation. Phrases like, "There's a new restaurant I think you'd like," or "That's the kind of movie we should see," are veiled invitations to be part of her future. She's mentally creating a scenario where you both share experiences. To confirm this level of interest, try this practical exercise. Casually mention a vague future plan without directly inviting her. For example, comment that you're thinking about exploring a new place over the weekend. If she responds by implying she'd like to accompany you or asking more details about exactly when you're going, she's actively seeking to include herself in your plans. Another fascinating pattern is the escalating commitment effect. An interested woman will start by offering small-time commitments, like a quick coffee, but will gradually be willing to invest increasingly larger blocks of her time with you. If you've noticed that your encounters have evolved from brief conversations to longer and more meaningful outings, you're witnessing a natural progression of romantic interest. Keep this truth in mind. Whoever invests, commits. When a woman consistently invests her time, energy, and attention in you, she's subconsciously beginning a process of emotional commitment. It's not words, but these investment patterns that reveal her true intentions. One of the most powerful but rarely discussed signals is temporal consistency. If she maintains constant communication with you, not just when she's bored or needs something, but as a regular priority in her routine, you've established a permanent place in her emotional world. This consistency is something we reserve exclusively for people we consider important. Learn to value your own time. Repeat this affirmation. My time is valuable, and I only share it with those who demonstrate equal investment. When you incorporate this mindset, you'll naturally begin to recognize and appreciate when someone makes a genuine effort to create space for you in their life. Would you like to discover advanced strategies to convert these signals of interest into a deep and lasting connection? Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video, where I'll reveal exactly how to respond to these signals in a way that maximizes attraction. And now we reach the fifth and final point, the most transformative of all: how women who desire you transform their language and digital communication specifically with you. Invisible signals to most, but crystal clear once you know how to identify them. In the digital era, the way a woman communicates with you through messages reveals as much or more than her face-to-face interactions. Neil Strauss observed that technology hasn't changed human psychology. It has only created new channels to express it. Signals of romantic interest have adapted to the virtual world, but they remain detectable for those who know what to look for. The first revealing indicator is the speed and length of her responses. A woman who feels attraction toward you will respond more quickly to your messages than to others, and her responses will be considerably more elaborate. When someone interests us, our brain releases dopamine upon seeing a notification from that person, which drives us to respond with greater urgency and dedication. Have you noticed that some digital conversations flow naturally while others feel forced? An interested woman will keep the conversation alive, asking follow-up questions and sharing additional information even when technically the conversation could have ended. This effort to maintain the communicative exchange is an unmistakable sign of romantic interest. Pay special attention to the use of emojis and punctuation marks. Research shows that women significantly increase their use of emojis, exclamations, and ellipses when messaging men they're attracted to. These elements add emotional charge and keep the conversation more playful and personal. If you notice a change in her writing style with you, more expressive, more colorful, compared to how she normally writes, you're seeing a communicative adaptation based on attraction. A fascinating pattern is what I call mirror communication. If she begins to adopt your unique expressions, your response rhythm, or even your writing style, she's unconsciously aligning with you, a classic behavior that occurs when we feel a connection with someone. This subtle imitation is one of the most sincere forms of flattery and a powerful indicator of attraction. Perform this practical exercise. Deliberately introduce a unique phrase or expression in your digital conversations. If in the following days you notice that she begins to incorporate this expression into her own vocabulary, you've confirmed a significant level of psychological attunement, a common precursor to romantic interest. Another revealing indicator is preventive sharing. A woman who desires you will find reasons to share aspects of her day with you, even when you haven't directly asked. She'll send you photos of places she visits, random thoughts she has, or experiences she's having. This behavior shows a subconscious desire to include you in her everyday world, to maintain a continuous connection with you. A particularly powerful digital signal is communication at unusual times. If she writes to you early in the morning or late at night, she's thinking about you during intimate moments of her day. These pillow messages indicate that you occupy a space in her mind during times normally reserved for personal thoughts and reflections. Memorize this truth. Communicative consistency reveals emotional priority. When a woman maintains regular contact with you without practical reasons to do so, it's not courtesy, it's genuine interest, manifesting through bits and bytes. Have you noticed if any woman shows interest specifically in your social media posts? Selective digital engagement, when she consistently interacts with your content but not necessarily with others, is another modern signal of romantic interest. This behavior equals the preferential attention that in the past was shown in physical social contexts. To confirm these indicators, pay attention to patterns over time, not isolated incidents. Consistency is the key to distinguishing genuine interest from simple courtesy. A truly interested woman will maintain these communicative patterns for weeks and months, not just for a few days. Always remember this phrase: who seeks you without need, desires you without confession. Repeat it when analyzing these communicative patterns, and it will give you clarity about the real intentions behind the messages you receive. The most fascinating thing about understanding these signals is that it allows you to respond strategically, amplifying the natural attraction that already exists. When you recognize genuine interest, you can create a safe space for those feelings to flourish, instead of smothering them with doubts or misinterpretations. Now that you know these 5 sets of infallible signals, you'll never again confuse kindness with attraction or miss opportunities with women who are really interested in you. You've acquired a skill that less than 5% of men possess: the ability to accurately read female interest before it's verbally expressed. This completely transforms the game of seduction. You'll no longer advance blindly, but with the confidence of someone who knows exactly where they stand. This clarity will allow you to focus on cultivating connections with women who have already demonstrated genuine interest, instead of wasting time and emotional energy on situations with no real potential. What you've learned today changes the rules completely. It's no longer about convincing someone to desire you, but about identifying who already feels attraction for you and responding appropriately to those signals. This is the difference between forced seduction and authentic connection that flows naturally. Most men spend their entire lives misinterpreting these signals, confusing kindness with interest, or missing opportunities by not recognizing when a woman is really demonstrating attraction. You will no longer be one of them. You've obtained the key to decipher a language that few understand. The knowledge you've acquired today places you in a privileged position. You'll no longer have to wonder, does she like me? Because you'll know how to read the signals that will give you the answer before you need to formulate the question. This clarity will not only give you confidence, but will eliminate the anxiety and uncertainty that plague most men in the game of seduction. Now I invite you to comment below. I choose to observe before acting because now I can see what others ignore. Make this declaration as a commitment to yourself to apply this transformative knowledge in your future interactions. If this video has opened your eyes to realities you couldn't see before, make sure to like it, share it with other men who need this information, and of course, subscribe and hit the bell to receive notifications for our next video, where we'll dive even deeper into female psychology and advanced seduction strategies. The information you've received today is just the tip of the iceberg of what you need to know to truly master the art of attraction and connection with the women you desire.